Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and today we're going to be doing another Final Fantasy XI video. For those of you who may not know, patch 7.1 for Final Fantasy XIV is going to be incorporating a Final Fantasy XI themed raid, the Echoes of Vana'diel. Now, we were all speculating about it being Castle Saval. We even saw the throne room on social media, which is a location that we will go to in a future video. However, much to our surprise, the actual name of the first raid is Juno, the First Walk. Now, First Walk, I've already talked about in a handful of videos what that likely has to do with things, but Juno was kind of a surprise. For those who don't know, Juno was basically the central endgame hub for much of the game's life cycle. Even as new areas came out and new places to hang out were introduced, people often found themselves back here in this 4-layer city that has a lot of quests. Even to this day, it still gets new stuff, or at least it has before the game has kind of gone more into maintenance mode since the end of the most recent story, the Voracious Resurgence. So I figured we would just do a tour of Lower Juno, which is specifically shown in that video. Maybe we'll go into the other parts, at least give a brief look and maybe some mention of some things that were there. I'm sure I'm also going to be missing a ton of stuff because, well, it's been a while, you know, and I'm mostly more acclimated to the more recent stuff. But I'm sure I'll catch some of the more important stuff. Whether or not I remember the exact locations, I guess it'll be a little bit of a test, but some of you will definitely call me out on it and bring back your old memories in the comment section. Before we get started, this video is going to have a sponsor. I haven't done too many videos this month, so I want to make sure I take care of my sponsors as well. So we're going to cut to that, and then we're going to come back and walk through Juno itself. Before we get started, though, Magic Spoon is back to sponsor another video on the channel. I've been eating their cereal and treat bars for well over a year at this point, so it's always good to have them sponsoring a video. Now, you know, as much as I enjoy cooking a nice meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, sometimes I just need to get what my body needs ASAP, especially right after a workout. That's when I reach for Magic Spoon. As a high-protein product, I can get some good calories in quick, whether that's with a few handfuls of their cereal, because I'm an animal and I eat it right out of the box, or just one of their treat bars, which I'll admit I eat far too many of, but I can't help it. They taste so good. If you'd like to try Magic Spoon while also supporting the channel, then click the link below to get some today. Build your own custom box of cereal with tons of available flavors, or throw some treat bars in there. Trust me, you're gonna be glad you got the treat bars. Best of all, use my link and discount code Mr. Happy to get $5 off of your box. You can also buy at your local grocery store or even on Amazon. And if you don't like it, Magic Spoon has a 100% happiness guarantee. Let them know if you don't like it, and they'll refund you, no questions asked. So click the link below or scan the QR code on the screen and use code Mr. Happy to get $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/Mr. Happy to save $5 on your order. It even works in Canada and the UK. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video, and now let's get to it. All right, so here we are at the entrance to Lower Juno. This is where you would enter through the zone known as Rollenberry Fields. Most people would access Rollenberry Fields if they started in the main city of Bastok, as they would have to walk through the Conchta Highlands, Pashon Marshlands, and then into Rollenberry Fields to get to Juno. There are other entrances in the port and upper portions of Juno, and then Rulude Gardens is really more of just its own thing, mostly story-oriented stuff, and honestly, a completely different looking zone altogether. As we enter, you can see we have a home point, which is just where you would be able to set, hey, if I die and I respawn, I'm going to respawn here. Nowadays, they can also be used as teleport points after they have been visited a single time. Right after that, we have the next most important thing, the Chocobo stables. Now, back in the day, Final Fantasy XI didn't have formal mounts. Nowadays, they do. And as such, at level 20 in Upper Juno, you had to earn a Chocobo license by trading an item. That quest used to take minimum 5 to 6 hours, depending on when you actually got around to doing it. But once you did, you could rent a Chocobo from one of the porters in the towns, or also one of the porters out in the world. So you would come in here, you would talk to one of these NPCs, and they would be like, hey, you want to rent a Chocobo? You would say, yes, I do, which I'm covering all of that, and I guess I could lift the camera and move it. But the whole point is this is where you would come to get your Chocobo, which would last for a limited amount of time. So you would really want to make sure that you got to where you needed to go in a single Chocobo ride and didn't kind of linger and overstay in certain locations. Each and every one of the different layers that go to another zone, specifically Port and Upper, will also have one of those Chocobo porters. Fun thing, this NPC is actually part of a monthly event. I say monthly because you really can't participate in it all the time. Basically, every month you're actually able to earn tokens that you can then give to this NPC, and he'll trade you an orb, which places 10 treasure chests down on the map. One of them is going to contain a mimic. It's not exactly how it works. I'm sure the 11 specific people will be like, actually, it doesn't just place down one mimic. It's actually a percentage chance upon it. We're not going to get into that. Basically, he's the Gamba NPC, and every month people flock to this NPC in order to earn those tickets and go for incredibly rare rewards, some of them exclusive even to this content. This has happened really more in the last decade. I think in 2016, it may have even been earlier this NPC was introduced, but goes to show you that even, you know, at that point, 14 years after the game's life cycle, look, you can even see somebody right here interacting with it. It's very normal. People even sell off these orbs to other people, basically allowing others to buy the loot or the chance at getting this incredibly rare loot. Now, we do have an upper path and a lower path. The upper path is mostly filled with stores and quest NPCs, and the lower path is really kind of the more iconic section of Juno itself. So as such, we'll begin walking through. Now, I actually don't remember what a lot of these NPCs do. Final Fantasy XI does have the occasional flavor NPC. You can see we have extensions of the Chocobo stables, and some kids actually just on looking over it. They actually are talking about another quest. Again, you can't see it because it's all text-based, but they're talking about another quest that had been completed in regards to the Chocobo Master's son. We also have this NPC over here who's talking about a harbor filled with ships and good times, talking about progress, but doesn't really involve himself directly with any quest. Now, I don't really remember if any of these NPCs do anything in particular, but here on the right, we have a merchant's house. If I recall correctly, there was a quest involved here, but I don't quite remember which one. None of it's really coming back to me. I thought you were too. He should be back. And oh, well, it looks like we're going into the quest. Ah, okay. So this is a quest that's part of, I think it gives you like a level 45 cape or something like that. Is this the green cape quest? Essentially, the Cardians are a creation of the city of Windurst, one of the starting cities, and this involves some of the missing ones. We're going to skip through this again. It's been a long time since I've done this quest, but yeah, this is the Two of Swords, and you get a key item that I think is also the Two of Swords from this quest, and then there's a follow-up quest you have to do afterwards, which I think actually happens back in Windurst. So that was the thing. There were no quest markers in Final Fantasy XI. You either had to talk to all the NPCs and then meet the conditions to do a quest, whether that would be your reputation with the city itself, completing a prerequisite quest, being on the correct class. Any number of things could have been the prerequisite. And as such, there's also no markers to actually follow this quest. You have to read the text or, of course, go online, which is what most of us did. I remember having to print out tons of different things at school because I didn't have a printer or even a computer at home. So I had to do all my research during school hours, then come home with printed out pieces of paper and make a little free ring binder of all the information that I wanted. Now, again, these other NPCs, I'm not all too certain. Luckily, we can just talk to them and get some idea of what they are involved in. So, for example, this one is the Vermeer 10 Gil. I'll recall your past. So, this NPC in particular allows you to recall cutscenes from specifically, it looks like Seekers of Adulin, which was the final paid expansion for Final Fantasy XI, actually released in 2013, same year that A Realm Reborn was released. Seekers of Adulin was actually only made because of 1.0's failure. 11 they really wanted to dial back on and move people over to Final Fantasy XIV, hence the similarity between the races, or at least the initial ones. Yes, they are different, but the similarities were there specifically so people could feel like they can move from one game to another and maintain that kind of thing. If you were a Taru, you would probably go Lalafell. If you were a Galka, you would probably go Rugaden, etc., etc. So Seekers of Adulin, fun little history and tie-in with 11, only exists because of the failure of 1.0. Maybe they would have made it without that, but it is worth stating that it did come after the fact. This NPC right here, also a bard, and this one recalls other missions. Looks like the Rise of Xylart, which was the first expansion that the game released with, other Juno quests, as well as Chains of Promethea quests that take place in this area. Often bards exist in the various cities for this exact reason, so I should have recognized that, but I didn't think they were those NPCs. For some reason, I thought it was a different one altogether. And as you can see, sometimes you just talk to a random NPC, and you get a quest. Is this the lighthouse? No. Careful in a big city. Even a city that was duped by a young elven girl tricking into giving her my... Wait, fishing rod. This isn't the Lushang's quest. I go, there's this... Wait, there's a Prish-involved quest? What is this? I actually need to know what this is because Prish, as many of you know, I didn't plan this. I actually straight up need to look this up. This Prish is one of the main characters of Final Fantasy XI. She's the main character of Chains of Promethea, and she's featured on the patch artwork. So it's funny that this quest, which I probably didn't do because it has, it probably has something to do specifically with fishing. The quest, it's involved in the Crystalline Prophecy quest, this NPC, which is an add-on scenario. He also has a quest called Hook, Line, and Sinker, which you need the Egret fishing rod to prevent the game from freezing. Okay, apparently there's issues for the more recent version. You need to have completed Chains of Promethea Mission 3-2. You need to then obtain an Egret fishing rod, which drops from Sea Bishops and Krakens on Kufim Island, and then come back. The reward is simply 3,000 gil. So the fact that it involves Prish is actually just kind of a coincidence that works out for this video. I've never done this quest. Even on my main character, I know for a fact if it was fishing related, there was no shot that I did it. So Prish just apparently swindles this guy for his fishing. You know what, Prish? I'm glad I somehow worked you into the video when I had no intention of it. So yeah, there's that. And that's just how quests, it's already happened twice this video. I'm sure it won't be the last time because I don't remember where all the quests are. And I remember where the most iconic quests are here, but I don't remember this. So this tour is a fun little time. Thanks for the cameo, Prish. So we could go up here again. There are more quests up there. However, we're going to go down here. So this is the exact stretch that is shown in the artwork. Now, obviously, it's a little bit different. You can see a lamppost, which is actually a popular quest in Lower Juno itself. But this is probably one of the most iconic stretches of Juno itself, other than the market board over there. This little dip is, most people would run through it. You're going over to the Chocobos. You're kind of just bored hanging around. You run down the stairs. You run up the stairs. It could be any number of reasons. However, it's also where one of the most notorious quests, in fact, several of the most notorious quests in the game actually exist. Here we have the Goblin Shop. Now, there are a ton of quests in here. There's race-specific armor, there's NPCs that sell valuable items, and they have tons of individual involvement in old quests and new ones. However, I believe it's Bluffnix over here is the main one that most people will know. Yes, Bluffnix is the most popular one. So in Final Fantasy XI, your default inventory size, as in when I open my menu and go into inventory in the top left, is actually only 30. And you have to do quests called the Gobby Bag quests in order to expand it. Every quest expands your inventory by 5, all the way up to 80. Bluffnix is the quest giver for that. He will ask you to bring him 4 individual items that can be crafted, or a separate item that is something newer to the game, something meant to, quote, ease the progression of the Gobby Bag quest. It's not always easy because sometimes it's not available, but it depends on the time of year and what events are going on, etc., etc. So, easily one of the most popular NPCs and one of the most hated, because people hated having to expand their inventory and how painful it was to only have 30, and then you have 80 and you still feel like you don't have enough inventory space. So even with everything they've added over the years, I believe this one right here is the RSE NPC. If not, it's one of the ones in here. It's been a little while, but Muckfix, do you sell something that I don't remember? No, Muckfix is part of the quests. It's part of the Magicite quest. One of the main story quests in the base game is what Muckfix is involved in. But I'm almost certain that the race-specific armor comes from a quest that this one has. So we are then gonna Zalsum. You have an important quest too. Oh, maybe Zalsum's the RSE NPC. I remember it being in this hallway. Oh no, Zalsum is okay. So Zalsum was introduced in the Treasures of Otter-Gon expansion. And essentially that every expansion, I guess not every expansion, but similar to Final Fantasy XIV, there are different sorts of legendary weapons. This game is actually where the term relic weapon largely comes from. Leave me alone, Spam Risk. I'm in the middle of recording a tour video for Juno. And in the base game, they're just called relic weapons. In the Treasures of Otter Gone expansion, they're referred to as mythic weapons. However, mythic weapons also come with mythic weapon skills, and there were ways to earn those weapon skills without actually having the weapons. Zalsum was the way that that was done. So you would take a mythic weapon that you would take a weapon that allowed you to learn the skill to him while meeting other prerequisites we won't get into. And then he would basically send you off on a quest to earn your mythic weapon. I'm pretty sure he is the mythic weapon quest. Been a while since I've had to do one of those, but given he's talking about mystical artifacts, pretty sure that's the case. I don't remember what you do. I just remembered you walking around all the time talking about saving money while you're going to all the shops. That's nice. Magic shop, you could just buy a handful of things here. I know you're part of something, but otherwise each of these NPCs just sells a series of spells, cure spells, protect. For those, I guess, who didn't know, in Final Fantasy XI, you don't learn spells automatically. You have to buy all of them individually. And as you can see, they can be quite expensive. Adel here for level 93 white mages or 83 red mages is 130,000 gil. Holy 35,000 gil. You know, we've got Protector 590,000. It can get expensive. If you were to start Final Fantasy XI today, it's usually not recommended to start as a spellcaster, largely for this reason, although you can get away without a lot of spells in the early parts of the game. I forgot what you're a part of. Are you the... Yes, okay. So, this NPC is a very interesting one. So, he will erase your memory of quests you've already done so you can do them again. So like right now, the only quest he's giving me the option to redo are the dancer artifact quests. If you meet the condition to relive a quest, you can come talk to this NPC and he will literally purge it from your mind so you can do it again. You can also get the rewards for completing those quests again. So let's say you drop an item that is only available from the dancer artifact quest. You know, like our artifact armor in 14. We have the same thing. Again, that term is pretty much borrowed from Final Fantasy XI. You drop the pieces and you're like, oh, dude, why did I drop that? I'm so dumb. There's no way to reobtain it. Like, you can't just go back to an NPC and buy it or anything. You would have to forget the quests and then do them again in order to get it. If I'm remembering it correctly, maybe I'm misremembering it, but that's what that quest NPC does. Then we come up here, and this is the auction house area. Final Fantasy XI had an auction house compared to Final Fantasy XIV's market board. It doesn't work exactly like an auction. You're not like bidding against people, but it's more so like people place things invisibly onto it, and they just kind of have a stock. And as long as you bid an amount that is equal to or higher than the lowest value, you will purchase one of those items. So there was some weird mind games you could play to try to undercut people, but if you undercut them, you also had to take the risk that you were kind of hoping to still sell it for the same amount as the other person, because you're hoping that the next person comes up bids. Really smart players would try all sorts of little tricks. They'd be like, oh, this item's 100,000 gil. I'm going to bid 89,999 and see if somebody did that. And then if you win, you go, gotcha. Or 90,001 or 92,001. Like, you just kind of work your way up through the list of like undercut tactics to try and save a few thousand gil. Not too uncommon at the very least. You're a part of something. What are you a part of? Looking all over for you. They have letters addressed to me. They're signed D. What do you want to do with them? Is this part of Shantoto Ascension? I hope it doesn't contain anything. It contains a new briefing for a new... Oh, no, Records of Eminence. Yeah, so this unlocks new Records of Eminence objectives. Records of Eminence is a newer feature where basically they're like quests that you can accept pretty much anywhere out in the world. And I completely forgot that this NPC was here. So yeah, you come into here and you can accept various quests. This NPC, these are your normal quests, like, you know, this is my Winder's quest, tuning in, waking dreams, etc. Records of Eminence is like, you know, gain 5,000 experience, vanquish 200 enemies, you know, deal 500 plus. And then there's some that are daily, there's some that are monthly. That NPC, the Gambit NPC I mentioned earlier, has stuff in here. So yeah, like Amon troves and whatnot. I don't know what I was just given, however. I would assume it's in the other category. It's probably these ROE quests, but I don't precisely remember which what stuff. That's newer also. That's something I can't like recall from, you know, my early days. Joseph here, very straight up name. Just talking about breaking, you know, having conversations, you know, breaking ice with people. We've got Parike Paranko over here, just talking about people running back and forth. Yeah, I don't remember these NPCs really doing anything. This NPC also just talks about watching people run back and forth. And then we have the Merry Minstrel. This is a bard. They sell like bard songs here. There's something else. Oh no, Merry Minstrel's the name of a bar. It's an actual bar. They sell like juices and stuff. There is another quest. I think it involves this NPC in particular. Merter. I don't think he gives the quest. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. Wait, is this actually the Bard NPC? Yeah, I think this might actually be the guy who unlocks the Bard class. I think he sends you on a quest. I think it's a mix of him and this other guy. Matelagat, yeah. You could be such a fine Bard. What are you thinking? I don't know. Yeah, it might be, because I'm pretty sure I have Bard unlocked. Traveling Minstrel. I mean, they are also all bards here, so it's a bar. It's a bar for bards. A bard's bar. A bard's bar. A bard's bar for bards. We're moving on. Anyway, let's go over to the auction house. Now, this building on the left, I think maps were sold here. This is something brand new. We're not going to talk about waypoints here. That's not nothing to do with Juno. I know the entrance to Seekers of Adulin is available in here. You can also buy maps just to, when you go to an area, you need to have a purchased map to see the area's layout. Not every area even has a map. You need to purchase them from in town. Nowadays, you can purchase almost like every map in the game from this NPC. In fact, I think some of the other map NPCs also pretty much sell every map in the game. And then I know also, what assistance do you seek? Chamber of Commerce for Adulin's Pioneer. Yeah, so she's talking about Seekers of Adulin. I think that guy I think also has something to do with it, but he just gives you kind of some flavor text. There's some other NPCs here. They just assist with like delivery box functions, so you can mail stuff between your other characters or other players. Like I said here, you can see I had some items that didn't sell. Some items from the more recent times specifically. I don't really have anything else that I need to sell right now. That's fine. I don't even know what the market's like here on Bahamut, which is the server I'm on. I was going to say, you're a part of something, but I don't remember what. Is this the Sleepga 2 quest? Do you need the Ahriman lens? I think so. I think that, so one of the, not every spell could be purchased from a vendor. Some of them are quest rewards. And even though you can sell the quest reward, and you can obviously do the quest yourself, it's very, very... Yes, I'm almost certain this is the Sleepga 2 quest. Wait, no. Data Analyzer and Logger. This is not the Sleepga 2 quest. This is... Is this a mod? No, so I remember. So this NPC gives you that Data Analyzer and Logger and then tells you to go beat a bunch of notorious monsters, like tons of them. And the reward he gives you is garbage. It's like 59,630 gil. And I remember I think it's 5963. When you say it out loud, it sounds phonetically similar to like somebody who was made to do hard work for no pay. It's like an ultra meta, like Japanese joke. The reward, but it's effectively a waste of your time, this quest. Now, to be fair, you might be thinking, sounds like a lot of Final Fantasy XI quests. You actually would be wrong. A lot of them do have a purpose, and a lot of them do have somewhat decent rewards. I think one of the Sleepga 2 quest NPCs is here somewhere. We'll come back to that building. We're going to go to the top section here, but I don't remember where. I'm almost certain. Are you a part of the Beast? No, you can't be part of the Beastmaster. Special, sometimes you fail to understand. I know that there is a Beastmaster NPC. You're the one who has it, I think. Before Magnificent, all want to be revealed. Your life is at a crossroads. Life is a twisting maze. A Divination Spear. Do you need an Ahriman lens? Yes. I am almost certain this is the quest that eventually leads to the Sleepga 2. Yeah, you need to bring an Ahriman lens to him, and then you have to like take it to the Maze of Shakrami, which is a whole other zone. And then we've got the Shantoto knockoff in here. who I don't remember. Yeah, she tells you your fortune. Oh, the tarot card. Oh, no. I don't even want to get... No, I don't even want to have those in my inventory. Where are those? You obtain 5 tarot cards of the Hermit. Yeah, you're supposed to, like, trade with other people who get different ones. I remember I remember never doing the quest. I don't remember if it was even worth doing in the first place. But I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. Venica. I think this might actually be the Beastmaster quest. I bought a home in Juno. No, I know there's a Beastmaster quest up here somewhere. And now I'm just going to say, you're the Beastmaster quest. You're part of the Beastmaster, just one by one after the other. I don't remember what this guy's doing, but clearly he's changing, and we can just camera over see him. They sell a few, like, basic pieces of gear here. Nothing valuable, nothing you really want. It's like filler gear. And I think this person's just shopping. I don't think they're part of a quest of any kind. Maybe they are. I mean, a lot of NPCs are just really obscure parts of quests that are hard to remember. This person's talking about being too fat for their outfit now. Oh, to sell. Are you the This is the Beastmaster NPC. Yeah. So, jobs in Final Fantasy... Oh, wait. I just met the weirdest elven kid. No, this has to be something different. Is this another Prish quest? I forgot how much Prish just shopped around. I don't remember all of these. I'm waiting to see if she's in here. I don't remember this quest. Let's see. Odacell. Odacell, Final Fantasy XI. What is this quest? He is part of the quest In the Mood for Love. It is, yes. So that is Prish he's talking about, because it's after Promethea 3-2, and it also requires you to bring him a chameleon diamond. Just gives 4,800 gil. Nothing fancy. Just another random post-COP like story quest that doesn't really have any rewards. And then these are the NPCs that he's talking about out there. Tawfiq. He's just talking about how women always gaga over diamonds. She's having fun, so that's fine. Dude, there are so many quests. I didn't even remember half of these quests. Move it, pal. I'm not here for you. He's part of another quest. We got a small Makote child right there. Can't go in that door. I think we pretty much toured most of the upper section with that last bit. There might be... Is there anything in here? The merchant's house. Okay. No, for real this time. Dietmund. You are the Beastmaster one. Say thank you for the medicine. You'd make a great Beastmaster. I'll do my best to return to the basics like you. Yeah, that's the Beastmaster. So eventually you would come back to him for one of the Beastmaster follow-up quests. I know that. But that's basically the tour of the majority of Lower Juno. There's I guess 2 more locations to go over, and we kind of doubled back before getting to them just for that purpose, because, you know, I wanted us to do that. Is there anything else? Because I know there's another way up. No, that's just where it is over there. So, yeah, that's the majority of Lower Juno. Bunch of quest NPCs. Nice little history lesson. Where's the lamppost quest? There's a quest where you have to, like, repair a lamppost. I don't remember where that is. See these street lamps? One of these quests is to repair these street lamps. There's also somebody who asks for, like, clock tower oil. Something in that vein. Now, here's another really important location. So this appears as just, like, a normal storefront called the Neptune Spire. And all these doors have, like, do not disturb, and they're all part of quests. This NPC, when you initially talk to her, if you have enough reputation with Juno, has a hidden option. Literally, it's an empty text box. And if you talk to her in that empty text box, she tells you to bring her a Tenshoto invite. If you bring her an item, then, you know, you can enter the Tenshoto, which is basically like a black market underground connected to a city out in the Rise of Xylar area. It's called Norg. It's a little pirate capital run by Gilgamesh, funnily enough. There's tons of things in here that were important back in the day. Reputation with them was incredibly important. Harnek here, it's not... Are you the Black Belt quest NPC? So I mentioned the Black Belt quest. Maybe it's not him. I mentioned the Black Belt quest in my Fafnir video, where you have to go and beat a bunch of super bosses and bring their items back. I actually have to remember what each of these NPCs did. Boss sure is cheerful. The boss is one of the story NPCs. They're all part of different quests. Some of them just sell valuable items. They sell like Warp and Warp 2. Some of these have also gotten updates. Like, for example, this NPC sells Utsusemi Ichi and Sleep Gatu and Warp 2 and Drain and Asper. These were all spells that were otherwise previously available strictly through Tenshodo quests, or not even just Tenshodo, but quest-related rewards. So you would have to like do a quest and get these teleport spells, do a quest to get Drain and Asper, do a quest to get Warp 2, Sleep Gatu. I already mentioned the quest with the Arimon Lens, Utsusemi Ichi. These were vital spells to the functional classes that you either had to purchase for hundreds of thousands of gil, or do a quest that was probably too high of a level for you and required the investment of gaining reputation with the cities before you could actually do so. They added that to that NPC. That's a more modern thing because that was definitely not there before. And then they have just like some random ninja gear, ninja tools for them to use. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff here. Vola is the black belt NPC. Hey, you're the black belt NPC, right? I'm not making this up this time, right? I think I've already done that quest here. Vola is a part of a quest, though. Forcell, most of these NPCs are part of a quest. Forcell is access to the Ot-Urgon expansion. He gives you a boarding permit that allows you to go to the Ot-Urgon area. So this is the basically the starting NPC for Treasures of Ot-Urgon, the expansion. Then this NPC talks about a treasure chest where you need a specific lockpick. What do you do? Bosses walking around. Do you have another follow-up? What's going on? I somewhat remember something about you. Then we go into the back, and this is where a whole bunch of story, basically, Aldo, who, fun fact, Aldo here, if you've ever watched the starting movie for Final Fantasy XI, there's a kid that, like, looks at a city and like sees it through his fingers. That's actually Aldo. So fun little tidbit. If I'm remembering correctly, that kid is Aldo, and he's a major part of the Final Fantasy XI story, mostly through the earlier expansions, but he absolutely plays a role in some of the later ones as well. Just not usually as active of a role as he does early on in the game. But yeah, Tenshodo, Black Belt quest, major important. Look, see, someone's even coming in here right now. Major important. I know this NPC that's right behind me is part of something. But yeah, there's a whole lot. This guy, I also don't remember what he's a part of. What do you do, Dominic? I got a special deal. I can warp you to some out of the way battlefield. Okay, nobody needs this guy anymore, but that guy could teleport you to. I guess that guy could teleport you to certain, like, BCNM areas. And then as we go into here, but in case you're wondering about this goblin, these types of goblins are everywhere. That Gobby box, you can basically, as you log in, you get points that you can. Is it logins, or do you have to, like, do objectives? I'm pretty sure, like, every day you get tally automatically. And you can spend that tally to open the chests, like, here. And you can get some insanely rare items from it, mind you. I have like 16,000 tally, for example, just you just get it every day. Most people open the special dial. Sometimes they do campaigns, which have unique rewards. It's another one of those like daily login gamba things that people do. And I got a bone chip, which is just a useless crafting item. So no luck, but there are some insanely valuable items that you can get from that as well. One of the more recent things. That's also in the last decade. And then here is, the guide stone. This tells you where everything is. That's Upper Juno. That's Port Juno. I don't remember. Ivy, come on, I'm in the middle of this. This guy stores armor sets. Like if you trade him, like let's say you get a full set of Paladin artifact gear, but you don't really want to play Paladin anymore. You don't plan on playing it anytime soon. You pay him to store your items on him. And you have to come here in order to take them back off of him. Kind of strange, but, we're pretty used to strange. Another home point, you can also teleport to this one. And there was one more home point. Oh no, that is the other home point. And this leads to the Mog House. This is everyone's personal room where they can change their jobs, they can decorate if it's what their current home, their current Mog home location is, as well as various other features, access your Mog safe, delivery box, a whole bunch of things. Now, that took a good long while, and that was just Lower Juno. Port Juno features airships that go to the other cities, which you had to wait on and board in real time. I think every trip was 11 minutes between waiting for the airship and then actually going through the sky. It also depends on the location. I believe one of them, I think the Kazam one, was different. There's also important end game content and NPCs that take place there. Upper Juno is where the Chocobo quest was that I mentioned earlier, as well as a ton of other quests, including the Adventuring Fellow, which was basically the progenitor to Trusts. Doesn't work anywhere near the same. It was kind of like its own mini game in itself, but there's that. Then there's like the Dancer Unlock quest. There's a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of Chains of Prometheia takes place there. Rulud Gardens is basically like kind of the high-end society. A very important endgame content called Dynamis takes place there. Not too dissimilar from the way Juno looks in the image that they showed, but we think that's not Dynamis, and that's probably something else that's more related to the Wings of the Goddess expansion, given the name The First Walk. There's also... what other stuff is there? There's a lot of story quests there. An NPC named Matt is actually there, who is the first NPC you go to in order to raise your level cap past 50. Much like your inventory, your level cap also starts at 50, and you have to do quests to raise it every few levels. There's also a ton of mini quests there to power up weapons and unlock specific skills from the Mughals that are there. And there's one other thing. I mean, all the embassies are there, but there's actually a lot. There's a lot of stuff that happens in Rulud Gardens. A lot of it very prevalent towards the end game. And then, of course, it has, an auction house like all the other ones do. But we would be here for hours if I tried to tour the entire thing on top of the Magic Spoon ad. So I think what will likely happen is we will start on that outside end where this video started. We will work our way into this portion, but I think the Walk of Echoes is going to entirely warp what we experience and what we see. I don't know that we'll even see much past Lower Juno, because we already know we also go to an area that looks like the Dragon's Area, which is why I made the Fafnir video, and Castles of All. So I suspect we're going to be doing a lot of warping around and seeing things. So how much of Juno is relevant? I don't think it will be relevant for very long. I think we'll very quickly move out of Juno, even though that is the name of the first raid. It could also just be that within Juno itself are a bunch of tears that take us to those other locations, but we're still maybe like we go up to the first steps and we get warped to another location, and we come to the second steps and we warp to another location, and then we get right here and we warp to another location for a boss, and then we get to the far end by the Mog House, and that for some reason takes us up to Castles of All. Who knows? That's something we'll just have to wait a couple more weeks to find out. Anyway, that is going to be a wrap for my tour of Lower Juno. Hopefully, for those of you who haven't played Final Fantasy XI, that was a nice little walk down. Well, I guess it would be a walk down memory lane for people who did play Final Fantasy XI. If you haven't played Final Fantasy XI, hopefully it was educational about one of the locations that we have seen in the raids. We'll be doing more of these, trying to give some history to those areas for those non-Final Fantasy XI players, and hopefully you will enjoy all of those. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see all of you in the next video. Until then, take care.